Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of FEMME FLEX Friday. My name is Alina Popa and today I'm going to be your co-host, Whitney Jones.
Hello, welcome everybody. We have a fun episode and we have three
Absolutely phenomenal
figure athletes.
We're talking about top 3 from 2020 Figure Olympia, and we have Cydney Gillon, Natalia Soltero, and Nadia Wyatt here with us. Together with Esteban, who's going to help Natalia communicate with us. Guys, it's such a pleasure to have you here with us on Zoom in our studio.
Thank you very much, Elena.
Now, hopefully you guys have been enjoying a little bit of downtime since the Olympia, but of course, we got to dive right in. We've got so many questions we want to cover today. And Cyd, let's start with you. Obviously, going in and being the defending and reigning champ, that's never easy. So walk us through this year, how your prep went, what was different, what is your mindset going into it? Because it's not like you're fighting for that title. You've had it, but now you just got to keep control of it. So what's the mind game going in?
I think at this point, it's really just about having fun and seeing how good I can be each and every show and seeing what I can accomplish each and every show. So mindset-wise, I had a lot of things on my mind. I had a lot of health things going on with my mother. So the main focus was focusing on each and every day and making sure that I was putting one foot in front of the other so that way I could accomplish what she's always wanted me to accomplish. She's always wanted me to make records. So I wanted to make sure I was able to make that happen for her. In order for me to do that, I had to really focus in on myself and kind of remove myself from all the noise that was happening around my life and really just focus in on the training. And the training is what I can control every day. Everything else I can't control. So my mindset was always control what I can control. And that's what I had to focus on. So coming in, the prep was very, very smooth, very nice. My coach wanted to start everything super, super early. So by the time I was a month out, it was just very calm. So that made a huge difference going into shows versus when I was in school or trying to run track or do different things like that. It allowed me to really, for the first time, focus on my prep, which has been really cool, and it was actually great for me.
To follow up your point, you said that your prep was very smooth. I mean, we all know that last year we had all of those COVID restrictions. So how did that go for you? What did you have a gym access?
So I did have gym access, but I also had been, because I work at a gym, but I had been working my own home gym. So I had that kind of laid out, thankfully, right in time. So I had just what I needed. Okay. And fortunately, I'm at the point in my career where I don't necessarily need to gain anymore. So all I do is stick to my background of track and just do plyo work. And so that always helps me maintain my metabolism and my body composition at the same time.
And Natalia, how about you? Where are you located? Natalia, where do you guys live?
Sorry.
Where do you live? Where do you live?
In Mexico, in Chihuahua, Mexico.
Okay, so you are right there right now?
Yes.
And how was your preparation? How was the situation with all the gyms closed and everything? How was it there?
Pues fue difícil por
It was difficult
tema de la pandemia.
Because of the problem that we have actually with COVID-19.
Tuvimos gimnasios cerrados casi todo el año aquí en México.
We had almost the whole year the gyms closed.
Okay, where did you train?
La mayoría del tiempo entrenaba en gimnasios clandestinos.
Okay, well, you understand that word. So yeah, the thing is that the most part of the time she was training in gyms where she was, the owners let her train a little bit just by herself. And part-time in home. She had a little gym. She has a little gym at home.
Pero tuve mucho apoyo de la gente aquí de mi ciudad que me proporcionó sus gimnasios.
She had a lot of support by the people of Chihuahua that owns gyms. So otherwise, it was a difficult year. Most of the people make it or help her go through this whole problem.
It definitely has not been easy for many athletes, and the fact that you were able to bring a phenomenal physique on stage is impressive under the circumstances. And I know, again, everyone had a little bit of issues. No one had it easy. Nadia, what was your experience prepping last year?
So my experience was just like Sid's and Natalia's. Also dealt with gyms being closed. So I got some at-home stuff to do and just had to be real creative with getting outside, going to the track, taking the dogs on extra walks, like just being extra creative on ways to get activity in. I did have a friend who owns a gym. However, it was like 45 minutes from my house. So finding time to drive 45 minutes away to go to a gym. And I mean, I also work a full-time job and I'm here for 10 hours a day. I'm actually here at work right now.
What is that? What do you do?
So I'm a human resources executive for Target.
Okay. So you do have a full job.
Yes.
Yeah.
And still found the time. That's impressive, hands down.
Yeah.
That's really impressive, I have to say.
Oh yeah. You kept it in though, and you did what you needed to do to show up on stage and nab that top placing. So kudos to you guys and to all three of you for pushing through, but that shows the passion that you have for the sport. Now let's kind of go back into looking at how far you came. And as most top athletes, after the end of the show, it's like you look at your photos, you know what you presented on stage, no one's done. So it's like, all right, this is what I want to improve on. So let's start with you, Nadia. What are some things that you have that you're working to really bring something different, or what is your strategy going into the 2021 season?
So for the 2021 season, like I've come to grips with, I am never going to be the biggest competitor on stage. So that is never anything that's my goal. Honestly, at this point, like I just look at my presentation on stage, I think is one of the things that I'm very focused on working on. It's just that overall presentation. And then like I like to kind of picture like a silhouette and make improvements based off of that silhouette that I see. So in my mind, and what I would like to see is a little more quad sweep if we're going with like technically what I would like. And then working on my shoulders has always been something that's been an issue for me. So that's always something that I'm working on. And like right after the show, honestly, like I took a little break from being able to, or being so structured with like being in the gym and being on this super rigid meal plan and stuff. My fiance and I, he was my boyfriend until the Olympia. Yeah, so he proposed while we were like the day that we got to Orlando. So we kind of took some time for ourselves to like, you know, enjoy like our newly engagement and just relax and have fun. So yeah, but I mean, then it's back to business. So,
so Nadia, you can take some cues from Cyd because Cyd obviously was doing the whole engagement thing through prep. Yeah,
we've really been trying to figure out like when we're gonna have our wedding, like where we're gonna be, and literally up until like last week, we were like, we can't even talk about this because I don't even know when the Olympia is gonna be.
Exactly.
To reset, we can make some plans.
Yeah,
and Cyd, you have 4 titles. You know, your places, you're amazing there, right? But what is your goal? What would you like to change? Is there anything that you want to bring different, that you visualize different on your physique?
I personally don't have a vision. My coach always has a vision. He's very, very clear cut. And he doesn't even tell me what the vision is. I just do the work and he just kind of guides me as I go. And I'm either on track or I'm not. So I kind of leave that up to him. So when I get off stage, I do look at my pictures. I never know what I look like because I don't look at myself throughout preps. Like he literally is the only person who looks at me. He looks and I turn around, and I put my clothes back on. I go work out. So until I see stage pics, that's the first time I'm actually seeing myself. So as long as I like the look, I'm like, hey, that looks great. And then I leave it at that. And so I just keep doing the work and letting myself get older. I think that's the most important thing for me, is just letting that muscle maturity just keep building and seeing what my actual genetic peak is. So that's going to be cool to just see what happens naturally for me.
So you don't really check yourself in the mirror?
No.
No,
what?
I shower with the lights off and everything. I pose with clothes on.
No way. You're doing it on purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like being warm. I don't like looking at myself. I don't like being looked at unless I'm on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm shocked.
You can see she comes and trains in Arizona, and so I see her, and she's in sweatpants, shirts, layers, and she's posing. And I don't know how you do it, honestly, because I sit there and pose and I adjust and who knows, but I couldn't do it with just covered.
Well, the first thing I used to do when I woke up, I was competing, I would check my abs. Are they still there? Right? Then I stand up, then I flex my quads in the mirror. I mean, like, what do you mean you're not looking at yourself? That's a routine.
I literally, only because of the way I sleep, I'll if I pass the mirror, I'll glance real quick. When I put my clothes on, other than that, it's not like something that I really, really focus on. And the only time I pose without clothes or like in like shorts or something like that is if I know I'm changing something to my routine. If I'm doing the same routine I've been doing for years and years and years, I know what the angle is, hit it, feel it, and move on.
That's impressive. That's impressive. Natalia, what about you? What are your goals and your areas of focus for improvements?
Whitney, just let me step in a little bit there and just tell how amazing she skyrocketed last year at the Olympia, because in 2019 she was 16th.
Yes.
In 2018 she was 8th, and 2016 she was 17th. So we're talking about 16th. You ended up on 2nd place last year.
Yeah.
This is tremendous. So just to follow Whitney's question, what are you changing for next year? What do you want to bring different?
¿Qué quieres traer diferente para el próximo año?
Bueno, yo la verdad es que soy mi más grande crítica. Yo siempre estoy buscando y viendo y cualquier detalle.
She is always, she's the first one who says what she needs to improve, and she really knows really much her body.
Yo sí, yo bajándome de competencia ya necesito ver las fotos para ya estar viendo qué es lo que voy a tener que trabajar y mejorar en el siguiente año.
After every competition, I need to take I need to see the pictures, how I posed, how I looked, and that way I can make changes and see what I need to improve after every competition.
Yo ya estoy teniendo un listado de los puntos que yo veo que necesito mejorar. En realidad, yo como competidora no tengo muchos años. Yo me hice profesional apenas en el 2016. Entonces, considero que todavía hay mucho que pulir a mi físico.
Okay. After every competition, I make a list and see where are my weak points. And that's the way me and my coach start preparing the program for the year. And actually, she thinks that she already needs to improve a lot more, because she only has 5 years being professional.
And the 2nd place in the world, let's not forget that.
Yes.
And that's why she thinks she needs to improve a lot. She only has, she already said 5 years as a professional. She turned pro on 2016. And she wishes every year get better and better.
Y yo una cosa que me hace feliz, que no a mucha gente le hace, es ver que aún tengo mucho que mejorar. O sea, mucha gente a lo mejor piensa, tengo mucho que mejorar, pero yo al saber que tengo muchos puntos que mejorar significa que mi carrera aún tiene muchos años más que dar.
So what really makes her happy is that most of the people or of her followers and friends think that she already is, maybe they think that she looks great already, but she knows that either what the people think, their friends, her followers, she knows that she really needs to improve.
That's good. We're always trying to improve, right?
Always.
But again, you must not forget that you ended up 2nd. So if I was to just give my own opinion or a suggestion, would be don't change too much, because it can throw you in a completely different corner than what you were hoping for, right?
Porque si cambias más de lo debido, puedes terminar en
We have a lot more. We have so much to still cover, but we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back in just 1 second. And we're back. So we have, again, a ton of things that we want to throw at you. We have a list of questions. So, Alina, what you got, girl?
Yes, I want to know if, Sid, is there any exercise, for example, that you leave out entirely? Never train. One exercise that you always stay away from.
Well, I have a lot of them.
Oh, okay.
Arms and triceps, I don't touch it.
No arms, no biceps, no triceps. Okay.
Yep, I leave that all the way out.
And tell us why.
Well, because my arms grow very, very quickly, and they keep growing and growing and growing, and they never stop. So,
and there'll be too much for your division.
Exactly. And also, but even if I were to switch a division, you don't want your arms being just your arms and nothing else matches it. So you got to kind of keep them in check so that everything matches and stays in proportion.
Well, we always say, like, when your biceps and triceps start getting too big, it makes your shoulders look smaller.
Exactly.
So
you got to make your shoulders
symmetry.
huge. Exactly.
Yep.
The bigger your shoulders are, the bigger your legs have to be. The next thing you know.
Yes.
First place in the world. I just grew my shoulders and my legs, and I woke up. I was first in the world. What else? You said no biceps, no triceps.
No biceps, no triceps. I also basically cut out glutes at the end of my preps too. My coach cuts them out. I don't cut them out. He cuts them out so that my booty can shrink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's it.
How about you, Nadia?
I don't think there's any exercises that I'm like steering clear of outside of like heavy weighted like abdominal stuff.
Okay.
I have exercises that I like love to do that I make sure to do, but I don't really think I have anything that I'm just like not doing it. So
deadlifts? Do you do deadlifts?
I like doing deadlifts up to a certain point in prep, just because one, I'm tired and it takes forever to get it set up. But it also provides a lot of stress to the central nervous system, so I need my body to recover.
Free
so
squats.
At a certain point, no more deadlifts.
Yeah. How about free squats?
I love squats, and like I know it's the same issue, but like squats are my jam. So I try to squat as long as possible.
Natalia, what's your take on it? Is there any exercise you always avoid?
Pues yo tengo van a ser unos 2-3 años que no entreno bíceps y tríceps. Le doy un mantenimiento básico una vez al mes, una vez cada 3 semanas.
She cut the biceps and triceps training since like 3 years ago, because actually she has the same. It happens as the same as Sid. And Sid was talking that she grows her biceps and triceps really fast. So she stopped training biceps and triceps 3 years ago, and she only gives them maintenance like 1 time every 3 weeks or a month.
Y tengo que cuidar el tamaño de mis glúteos porque crecen solos.
And she needs to be careful with the training of her glutes because they grow by themselves.
Me too, girl. Me too.
Oh, wow, that's a rough thing for you guys. Everyone feels so sorry for you.
So many women wish they had this problem.
Yes. I have to stop training glutes because they're just amazing already. Now, we already heard from Nadia regarding what you do for a living, but obviously, Natalia and Sid, you guys are both very busy, I can imagine, and you try to balance everything with your life. So what is it, Sid, that keeps you busy outside of what you do for prep and the gym time?
My main full-time gig is being a posing coach. So I do tours now all across the world. I have a retreat coming up in Mexico in March, actually in a couple of weeks. So I have that in Mexico. But other than that, I do a silence posing tour all around the U.S. I go to West Coast, Midwest, South, and the North, basically teaching everybody who wants to be on stage how to pose and how to make sure that they look their absolute best when they get on stage.
Are you doing just figure or other?
Oh no, I do every category.
Okay,
men too, or just women?
I do men too. My one of my posing clients is Miss Olympia for bodybuilding, so she's one of mine.
Nice. Well, good. And then what about for you, Natalia?
Yo hace poco dejé un trabajo que tenía en un club aquí en México porque me empecé a atender a muchas chavas para culturistas también de México y a preparar otras culturistas de Estados Unidos. Generalmente me buscan mucha latina que vive en Estados Unidos para que las prepare porque yo creo que se sienten identificadas conmigo por el idioma o así.
She's telling that she just left her last job like 1 month ago. She was a trainer at a country club, at the gym of a country club here in Chihuahua. And she needed to leave that job because she started to get a lot of work by online, by programs, exercise programs, posting routines by clients in Mexico and the United States. On the States, most of her clients are Latinas. So maybe she thinks that maybe they are identified with her because of the Spanish language.
Yes.
Well, and that's great. It's like you've experienced some success in this industry, and of course, everyone wants to learn from your knowledge and have that association with you. So why not take advantage of it and benefit doing what you love? So good for you.
Thank you.
And it is always fascinating, I have to say, the amount of restrictions, especially dietetic restrictions, right? So I'm really curious whenever I meet other athletes from different divisions, like in your situation, what's the lowest on calories you go on a prep? Sid?
Oh, I have no clue.
But let me guess,
no clue.
your trainer knows.
He knows everything. Literally, all I know is I know when food is leaving, when it's going up. That's the only thing I need to pay attention to. I'm like, all right, am I getting more? Am I getting less? How am I going to feel? That's all I care about. But yeah, I don't even do macros or anything, so I can't even calculate it myself. He writes out exactly what to eat and the amount, and I eat it.
Do you eat 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 meals?
6 meals.
6 meals.
I do know that.
Yeah. Okay, show me how big is your protein size?
Like this big?
Okay, that's about 6 ounces.
I tell you what,
5-6 ounces.
I have a funny story about Sid because when she comes to Arizona, she's stayed at my house a few times. And so I'd be at work and she was blowing up my phone one day and it was mealtime, and mealtime's very important. So I didn't answer it, but I got the voice message and she said, I borrowed an asparagus spear. Okay, just one. And I said, okay, was there an emergency? And she's like, well, no, but I'm gonna go to the store later and I'll replace it.
I'll replace you.
I was like, what? She's like, my plan said 8 asparagus. I was like, wow,
and I
you
only
are
had
very
7.
detailed.
Yeah.
And don't worry, I'm gonna be fine if I'm missing one. But she is that detailed on her stuff.
I love that.
I give you props, but I was like, that was not an emergency, not in my book, but you know, we're all different.
I am that person that stands in the grocery store like that final week and I count each speaker.
That's amazing.
One by one, literally looking so special. I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Isn't she
I literally
the
count
ideal?
to 200.
She's the ideal client.
You
for a
are the
trainer.
ideal client. And then there's me who's like, it said 7, but this one's broken. I'm going to eat that and that.
I know. Or I couldn't find chicken, so I had some ribeye.
No, right. Look.
Yes, that's a little extreme. What about you, Nadia? How low do you go with your calories?
So I'm kind of in the mix with Sid where I'm not sure just because I don't do the calculations and this much is meat is this many, like I don't do any of that. So I have a meal plan and I follow it. I'm sure if I really wanted to, because I have like my ounces and stuff, I could figure everything out. But that's what I got a coach for.
Yeah, exactly.
Very, very true.
Yeah. Do you have carbs in your diet?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh. And Natalia, anything different from you? Do you actually know how many calories you take in?
Es que varía mucho, o sea, mi físico va evolucionando año tras año, entonces cada competencia es muy distinto. Yo lo platico siempre, lo vemos Ricardo y yo, y ya vamos tomando la decisión, depende cómo vaya respondiendo mi físico, entonces no siempre es igual.
Okay, every year it's well, actually not also every year, but every month it could be different. It changes a lot. Is the metabolism, is the physique. So she needs to, well, not she, but Ricardo Panay who is her coach,
Okay.
is the one who makes charge of that, and they need to make a lot of changes every month. It depends on how she looks every month.
Well, there's definitely a science to it, and it sounds like for several of you, ignorance is bliss, but it's
Yes.
working. So no one can argue with that. Not at all.
Absolutely. I know that I personally, even when I was prepping, I went almost to, I think I went down to 1,500, which is not a lot for a bodybuilder.
Sure.
But I want to hear your number.
Oh, mine is, I'm a little different. I mean, I do fitness, obviously, so my calories go up leading into prep, but
Do you go
I
up to-
get about 4,000.
4,000
so yeah,
calories.
yes, I know it's out of control, and my clients hate me for it. And it includes donuts and Oreos, and so I'm lucky. But I
Yes.
also do hours and hours of routine
Exactly.
practice, so I burn it off, you know. But again, I don't have the physique that you guys have, so maybe I'm doing something wrong. Just kidding. But we're going to take another quick break. We'll be back with more rapid fire questions for you guys. We're about to have some fun.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
And we are back with our top 3 figure Olympians with some fun rapid fire questions coming at you, starting with, who we go?
Nadia,
Ooh.
I want to hear a fun fact about your childhood.
Oh, a fun fact about my childhood. I was a tomboy, so I was super into wrestling and huffy bikes.
Oh.
So literally, wrestling and huffy bikes was my thing. Diamond Dallas Page, The Rock, like old school wrestlers.
Love it.
Oh, wow.
And just riding bikes with my siblings. That was my childhood.
That's amazing. I love it. Got to have those fun memories. What about you, Sid? Any fun childhood memories, embarrassing moments you would love to share with this rapid audience that's tuning in?
Huh. I don't know. I was a tomboy as well. I was like a mixed tomboy. I had lots of layers. I did the pageants, but I was also like getting scars and bruises and dirt bikes and all that fun stuff. Do I have any fun stories? I don't know. Maybe come back to me. Let me think first.
Deal. And real quick with you, Natalia, anything that comes to mind, funny childhood memories?
Yes. Yo era gimnasta. Y era,
She was a gymnast.
y era muy delgadita, muy
She
delgadita.
was really thin.
Y un día llegué a la gimnasia y me colgué de las vigas.
She just once she got to her gym class, to her gymnastic class, she hung up from a bar, from one of the bars,
Y se me cayeron los shorts.
and her shorts fell off.
Oh.
She was too.
Oh no!
Poor girl. Is that why you got into the industry? You're like, I got to put on some muscle and
Well,
bulk up.
she was like, ¿cuántos años tenías?
5, 6.
She was like 5 or 6 years old. So
Oh.
at that age, she was really thin, and that's what she remembers.
That's
about that.
fun. That's pretty cute.
It is. It is. Nadia, what keeps you up at night?
I mean, nothing really keeps me up. I'm pretty good about sleeping.
What? Lucky? Whew.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with sleep. It is important and I love it and I get it.
Absolutely. But if there was one existential thing a theme that you'd be thinking over and over again, something that concerns your mind, your being right now, what would that be?
I don't know, maybe planning out my schedule just because it's always so like jam-packed with having to fit in training, having to fit in a 10-hour workday, having to fit in time with family, and anything else that I have going on. So maybe like the thought process of making sure I've got a concrete plan to get all my things done.
Planning a wedding, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now, one thing with all of your experience on stage, and we as athletes have had our flubs, our learning moments, our, oh my gosh, did that really just happen? So we want to know from each of you, what was something you learned from stage that was maybe a mistake that you never want to happen again? So Sid, let's start with you.
I would say during the routine, you learn on stage to always keep going. Because nobody knows my routine except me or my mom. She sees it all the time. So I'm walking. Say you have a couple of missteps that you know were blatant missteps. Controlling your face is a key thing to that, because I was like, oh, shoot. Let me throw a hair flip in to cover that one up and then keep it moving. But the main thing I learned is always keep moving, and that kind of is what makes professional. Never, the show doesn't stop. You got to figure it out, make it look cute, and push it on like it never happened.
Love it. Great advice. How about you, Natalia?
And the question was about what she has learned about her mistakes.
Yeah, just something from stage that was a flub that you thought, oh gosh, I got to learn from that.
Necesito mejorar de esto, o necesito mejorar de esta persona, o de lo que hice mal en el escenario. ¿Qué es lo que te ha hecho pensar a ti?
Pues no, más bien yo veo que en el escenario reflejas mucho lo que tú traes. O sea, si tú sientes que pues no hiciste tu trabajo bien, te reflejas en el escenario, entonces tienes que mostrar mucha seguridad.
So she thinks that she needs to show a lot of security of herself, of confidence, because she thinks that when you know that you didn't do the things right during the year, you know that's going to reflect on the how do you say? I'm sorry.
Y yo al inicio me ponía muy nerviosa en los escenarios.
And she also, at the beginning of her career, she really got very nervous during her competitions.
Hasta que empecé a rezar todo el backstage.
Until she started to ask God for some,
y eso me dio la seguridad y ya.
So it's pretty much you're saying that you're too tense on stage and you don't manage to relax into the experience.
No, at the beginning, she really got very, very nervous. At the beginning of her career. During those years, she learned how to get confidence, pray every time backstage to God to help her to put herself on God's hands. And that's what gave her a lot of confidence.
Okay. Learning to be calm, cool, collective is what helps aid in that confidence. So it's something that as a pro, you can't usually just step on that pro stage that first time and have it. It's something that you definitely learn. So it's perfect advice. And Nadia, what you got?
So when I looking back at how things have changed over the years with competing. I look back at that first show and my suit was god awful. My hair and makeup was god awful. And it was just, those were things that I didn't really think were that big of a deal when I started competing. And it just kind of took some getting into the industry and being in these shows to realize just how important it was to have great looking hair and makeup, and not just a good physique. So that's probably the biggest learning that I had in competing, was not skimping on the hair and makeup and the finishing of everything.
I do believe that we all make that kind of mistake, right? Because I remember as I was an amateur, especially living in Europe, I was like, I can't do my own makeup. Yes. I can do my hair. Up to the moment I stepped on stage at the Arnold, and Per Bernal, Per, he's a photographer, came to me and he said, what did you do to your hair? It looks horrible. I was like, okay, next time I'm going to work with a hairdresser. Do you have any?
Oh, I have tons. I mean, my suit has broke on stage and I had to pose holding it together. I have tripped and tried to pull it off like I had swag. I had horrible hair, makeup, the nerves. I've done it all, I think. I've covered all those bases. Still am. I'm still making mistakes. Keeps it interesting.
Absolutely. Nadia, do you have a pivotal moment in your life? When you go on one way and you make a big decision, because that is the situation, right? And you choose something, right? Is there a moment like that when you think if you chose something completely different, something else would have happened?
Honestly, making the choice to compete in bodybuilding was a very pivotal moment for me. It honestly shaped who I am now, because I think about myself before bodybuilding and I was not very confident. I didn't really have a sense of who I was, and I was always like catering to kind of fit everyone else's box. And when I made the decision to compete in bodybuilding, like that gave me the freedom. It was kind of like I had an alter ego, like who I truly wanted to be, and like make the decisions that I wanted to make and choices that I wanted. So that was a choice to do something that I wanted to do for me and make all my own choices. And that kind of was the first step of me building on being who I am today. So just making the decision of competing in bodybuilding was a very pivotal moment for me.
And Cyd, we know that you are a foodie and you love your meals, you love your treats. So when you get home and it's maybe off season or your cheat night and you're gonna bake something, what is your all-time favorite thing to bake?
Biscuits. Ooh. I just came up with this double biscuit. You get the little, what's the Pillsbury? They have 6 biscuits in a row. You put 2 of the biscuits together, smush them down a little bit, it's a jumbo biscuit. And then I put my fried chicken on top with my jelly.
Ooh.
I'm telling you, it was delicious.
Cooking with Cyd.
Absolutely
the show
delicious.
is coming up, guys.
It is.
I love it.
Natalia, do you have any pointers for a healthy but yummy dish? What's your favorite healthy, yummy dish?
Tu comida más fit, pero que más te gusta, la más deliciosa, pero que sea dentro de un régimen alimenticio que estés llevando a cabo.
La verdad es que a mí todo lo de comer me gusta, sea fit o sea de engordar, o sea.
She really likes every kind of food. The one that makes you fit and the one that makes you fat. So.
Pero yo aprendí con mi equipo de Brasil.
She learned with her, Brazilian team.
Hacen una panqueca, le llaman.
They made a pancake.
Oh.
Pero es, o sea, lleva las claras. Ajá.
She has like
egg whites.
Egg whites. She has also avena, which is
oats.
Los huevos enteros.
And 2 whole eggs, the complete egg.
Okay.
Todo es una torta.
And it makes like a giant pancake, and then she spreads peanut butter on it.
Oh.
Griego.
Okay.
Greek yogurt.
Now we're talking about it.
Some banana.
Okay.
And a lot of dipping stuff
syrup.
like maple syrup.
Oh, wow.
Chocolate syrup.
Now we're
You guys are
talking.
making me hungry.
Now we're talking, because when you started with egg whites and oats, I'm like, oh yeah, everybody eats that. And then you started adding things, and I was like, okay, now we're talking.
Now it's getting good. Now it's getting good.
She takes that every day.
I love it.
A lot of great information from these ladies, Whitney.
Yes, I hope you guys are as excited about the 2021 season as we are. So before we head out, we got to know what's the next show that each of you guys are going to step on stage. Where will we see you next? So Natalia, what show you hitting first?
Esperemos si sea el Arnold, que según lo tengo entendido lo tienen programado para septiembre.
As she understands, Arnold, it's the classic Arnold is going to be by September. If they don't make any changes.
Y de ahí pues sería el Olympia, que
And
ya
then-
sería el mes siguiente.
And then the Olympia.
Perfect. It's a great plan. What about you, Nadia?
I have no plans right now other than the Olympia. So probably just the Olympia and figuring out when I'm getting married.
Yeah, you got. That's kind of a big thing, and
There's a
something
lot on
fun
your
to
plate.
focus on, of course. And Cyd, how about you? Now that you are married and you have that out of the way.
Yeah, definitely the Olympia. That's the only thing I'm kind of focusing on from here on out.
Are you sure? Why? I mean, you like it? Got to go defend that title again, right, girl?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank you guys. This has been an amazing show. Lots
Absolutely.
of good feedback and insight from each of you.
From our top 3 Figure Olympia competitors in 2020, Cydney Gillon, Natalia Soltero, Nadia Wyatt. Guys, thank you so much for being part of our Zoom today. And we're looking forward to meet you down the road. Thank you
Yes,
guys for
ma'am.
being with us, and we'll see you on our next episode of FEMME FLEX Friday.